Gene, the floor is yours.
So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital cash system. Bitcoin can be thought of as a currency, a commodity, or a payment system. What I hope you take away this morning is to think of it as the Internet of money. We're at the very beginning of the age of Bitcoin, much like we were in 1994 with the Internet. It is a, I lost my words at the bottom there. It's a disruptive technology that's going to change how we exchange funds. Compared to services like PayPal, Bitcoins have a number of advantages. Bitcoins are transferred directly from party to party via the Internet without going through a middleman. This means that the fees are much lower, you can use them around the world, and there are fewer limitations. An example user is anybody who sends money abroad and doesn't want to deal with the high fees that other services charge. Who made Bitcoin? Satoshi Nakamoto published a paper explaining how the system would work and then shared source code anybody could use. He kept interacting with the community, always obscuring his location and identity. But Satoshi Nakamoto was just a pseudonym. No one knows exactly who he was. It was a group of cryptographers. And the early adopters included the early adopters of all new technologies, purveyors of drugs, gambling, and porn. In fact, one of the largest holders of Bitcoins right now is the US government as a result of busting Silk Road. Now there's lots of folks entering the Bitcoin economy. Big retailers such as Overstock.com and Tiger Direct recently started accepting them. What's a Bitcoin worth? Well, today a Bitcoin is worth approximately $800 on the exchanges that trade Bitcoins for US dollars. This exchange rate has skyrocketed over the last few months as more users and speculators have bought Bitcoins. 6 months ago, they were trading around $100 per Bitcoin. This volatility has contributed to both excitement and concern for Bitcoin traders around the world. Bitcoins are developed through a process called mining, where a computer performs a mathematical operation to generate new Bitcoins. In the early days, individuals could profitably mine for Bitcoins with a standard computer. Nowadays, large-scale mining for Bitcoins takes specialized computer chips, a significant amount of electricity, and lots of capital. No matter how many miners are working, there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins. Today, there are approximately 12 million Bitcoins in circulation, and new coins are being mined all the time. During this presentation, about 12 new Bitcoins hit the market. Because the production of new coins decelerates every 4 years, the last coin will be mined in 2140. Your Bitcoins are stored in your digital wallet, an application similar to online banking. It can be a program on your computer or one of the various online services. When you transfer Bitcoins, an electronic signature is computed, which is your proof that only you, the owner of the account, could have made the payment. Within minutes, the transaction is verified by a miner. While there isn't an identifier for an individual Bitcoin, this is what people see when exchanging Bitcoins, an address where people send them to and from. Each transaction is nearly anonymous. They can be tracked, but the ownership of the address is not automatically disclosed. For example, this address belongs to the FBI. When the government busted Silk Road, they confiscated the Bitcoins and put them into an account they control. Because at the heart of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin protocol is a distributed global ledger. This is an ever-growing record of every transaction done in Bitcoin, including those performed by governments. This is one of the key security features of Bitcoin, because every transaction is public, time-stamped, and cannot be forged. Another key security attribute is that Bitcoin software is completely open source. Anybody can review the source code, and lots of folks have. They have found and fixed flaws, thus increasing trust in the system. Plus, it keeps everyone honest, because anyone at any time can look at how the system is running. Think about that. Imagine being able to publicly inspect how your banks and financial institutions work. What are some downsides of Bitcoin? Of course, you're wondering about taxes. That's still a bit unclear, but there will be a way to tax Bitcoin. If you lose the private key associated with an address, those Bitcoins are lost forever. And the current system constrains the number of transactions made per second, and it takes 10 minutes to guarantee a transaction has been processed. But these limitations may be modified later on. The positives of Bitcoin are tremendous. We're in the beginning of what I believe can be the future of money. The system is rapidly evolving by allowing competitive implementations, much like how the internet grew out of services like AOL and CompuServe and evolved into the World Wide Web. It's creating new businesses such as a digital notary service and a new way to manage digital documents. You can currently buy and sell Bitcoins on various exchanges around the world for various government-backed currencies. There are companies like Coinbase and BitPay that you can use to integrate with your website to accept Bitcoin. The Winklevoss twins of Facebook fame are creating a publicly traded fund to invest in Bitcoins with SEC scrutiny. I believe that Bitcoin will have enormous historical impact. The decoupling of politics from monetary policy is disruptive, to say the least. It empowers those that currently are underserved by the global financial system, folks in Africa and China, for example. And even if Bitcoin itself fails, it has proven components, and any successor will be built on those failures. Thank you.